Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Gumalang and I'm from Samaratulangi University in Prodi International Business Administration with SIN 1X061102073 and I'm batch 2018 class 6A. And now I'm gonna talk about total quality management and total quality tools. And what is total quality management? Total quality management is the integration of all functions and processes within an organization in order to achieve continuous improvement of the quality of goods and service, and the goals is customer satisfaction. And next, the explanation about total quality tools. First is Pareto chart. Pareto chart is a bar graph that shows problems in order in which they occur. The sequence starts from the number of problems that occur the most to the problems with the less frequency. In graph, it is indicated by the highest graph bar or far left to the lowest graph or far right. And this is the example of Pareto chart of defects in charts, where in far left is the frequency of occurrence and highest graph bar, and far right is the cumulative percentage and to the lowest graph. And next is cause and effect diagram. Cause and effect diagram is a quality tool that is used to identify and show the relationship between cause and effect in order to find the root cause of a problem. Because it looks like a fishbone, the cause and effect diagram is also called a fishbone diagram. And for example, is a detail cause under the machine's main is a dead battery. Then the 6 main factors in the diagram are often used for cause and effect diagrams. However, you may pick any factor you want to be the main factor. And next is the step is constructing a cause and effect diagram. And next is check sheet. Check sheets are tools that are often used in the manufacturing industry for the data retrieval in the production process, which is then processed into useful information and result in decision making. And next, the example of check sheet. And this is the figure that shows a check sheet used to collect data on telephone interruption. The tick marks were added as data was collected over several weeks. And next is histogram. The histogram is a graphical display to show the distribution of data visually or how often a different value occurs in a data set. With the benefit of using a histogram is to provide information about variation in the process and assist management in making decisions in a continuous process improvement effort. The example of histogram where the figure shows histogram of pharmacy drug dispensing turnaround times. And next is scatter diagram. Scatter diagram is a tool that functions to test how strong the relationship between two variables is and determine the type of relationship. This relationship can be in the form of a positive relationship, a negative relationship, or no relationship at all. The shape of the scatter diagram is a graphical representation consisting of a set of points from the value of a pair of variables x and variable y. For the example, let's return to Tom's tomato plants. Suppose the data that Tom's collected. Let's plot this data on x and y coordinates. We'll plot the hours of exposure to sunlight on the x-axis and the number of tomatoes for the same plant on the y-axis. Now we plot each point on the graph appearing below. Notice that the number of tomatoes on a plant increases as the exposure to the sunlight increases. We can see this easily by drawing a trend line that best fills all your data points. Notice that the trend line is pointing in the northeast direction, which means it has a positive slope. This indicates that a positive relationship exists between the number of tomatoes and a plant and the hours of sunlight it receives. Therefore, you can see that a scatter diagram is a graphical tool that help us decide if two variables are related. Can we also have other types of relationship between two variables or no relationship at all? Yes, absolutely. A scatter diagram showing a negative relationship has a downward trend. In other words, the slope of the best fit trend line is negative or pointing in the southeast direction, like in the image. And next is control card. Control card is one of the quality tools in the form of graphs, and it used to monitor the stability of a process and study change in the process from time to time. This control card has upper line for upper control limit, lower line or bottom line for lower control limit, and central line for average. The example of control card is driving to work. The process variable, or the time to get to work, is plotted over time. Each day, the time to get to work is measured and plotted on the card. After sufficient points, the process average is calculated. It is plotted on the card as shown above. Then the upper control limit, or UCL, and the lower control limit, or LCL, are calculated. These are also plotted on the card. And next is stratification. What is meant by stratification is quality management, is the division and grouping of data into smaller categories which have the same characteristic. The purpose of using this stratification is to identify the factors that cause a problem. And for the example of stratification is to control for confounding. If age, for example, is a confounding factor when evaluating an association, another strategy is to evaluate the association in different age groups and calculate the measure of association in each target of age. For example, if age is a confounder of the relation between physical activity and GHD, we could stratify the analysis into separate age groups in order to evaluate the association between activity and GHD separately for each age group. And this is the table that shows a hypothetical example. That's all my presentation. Thank you.